Hi everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. Good morning. Oh, it's a beautiful day here today, and it's very sunny in Peabody, Massachusetts, and I'm hoping that I get some folks to join me today because we're going to be doing this beautiful 3D rose, which is a project in Cricut Design Space, and I am going to show you how to change the size. Good morning, Penny. I am feeling much better today. Good morning, good morning. Who's that? Emmy, my friend Emmy. So this is the original size of this. Isn't this crazy? It's huge. It's like 12 inches, and I'm going to show you how to change this file so you can cut it on the Joy. So no matter what, no matter what machine you're cutting on, you can cut it on just with a few simple adjustments. Good morning, Vicki. Hi, Heidi. And good morning, Susan and Penny. Thank you. Yeah, it is huge. Like, here's the original one, which I think is really big. Hey. Okay. All right. Somebody's going by. Sorry. No. Please don't bark. Thank you. I do feel better, Teresa. I do. I feel better. It's like that medicine they give you kind of just sort of makes you into a dish rag. I don't know, it just takes all your energy away, and I have a lot of energy, so it's pretty noticeable in me, I think. So and the puppies who, I guess because it's a sunny day, people are out walking their dogs, and they have even though they're short, they have a full-time view of it because I have a full door, so they get to look and survey their kingdom. It's really funny. But anyway, so I happened on this project in Cricut Design Space. Hi, Dorothy. Yeah, thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Dorothy. So I happened upon this project in Cricut Design Space, and of course I thought flowers 3D. Oh my gosh, I really want it. So the first time I saw it, thank you so much, Susan. Oh, maybe you can hear it in my voice, but boy, I was just dragging yesterday, and weekend was tough too. So, but it's over, and I'm halfway through my treatments. Good morning, Dawn. Good morning, Lynn. Halfway through my treatments now. I have 4 total treatments, and it's like every 3 weeks. So this is my second one, and like 4 or 5 days afterwards, it's really bad. Thank you, Emmy, for sharing. Thank you so much. Anyway, so I happened on this project, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to do that because it's 3D and it's a rose and everything. And when I pulled it in to my design space, I was like, what? This thing is huge. And so I wanted to, first I was like, I can't cut this is big. It takes like 18 sheets of paper, 12 by 12 paper. It was just huge. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to invest that much paper. Maybe I'm a little bit of a paper hoarder, but I don't know if I want to invest that much paper in making this thing. So I decided, you know what? I think what I'll do is I'll resize it and see if I like it smaller. And then if I like it smaller, then I can do it bigger. And then I thought, oh, I bet my friends would really like to see how I changed the size. So I want to show you how I changed the size to 3 different sizes. This is the large size, which I just put together. I didn't have time to do any really like fluffing of the flower petals. I can do that, but as you can see, it's huge. It's like, this is the paper that I use, 12 by 12 Cricut cardstock. And so this is about 11.5 inches, I'd say 12 inches wide, right? If you include the leaves. And so this is a big project. Maybe you don't want to commit to this kind of a big project. So I'm going to show you how to do it smaller. And by the way, this is what I used to cut out a couple of them. This is Cricut cardstock. You can buy it in bulk. This is the rose, and then there's dark pink that I used. But you can buy this on the Cricut.com website if you are so inclined. A lot of times you can't find, good morning, Felicia. A lot of times you can't find, you know, more than 2 or 4 different of the same color. Wait, how do I say that right? A lot of times you can't find more than 2 or 4 of the same color. Like sometimes the shade is slightly different. So this is a big project. Before you decide, I'm going to make this ginormous project, you've got to really decide what you want to do. So let me show you where you can find this project. First of all, this is a Cricut Access project. So it's super easy. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, other Amy. Good morning. Welcome. Okay, so I've saved this, and I will give you the files for these because I can. And so that way, if you don't want to learn this technique and you just want to cut it out, you can do that too. But so let's start off with a blank canvas. Good morning, Janet. Good morning. Welcome. So many wonderful new faces, names that I'm seeing today too, and some old ones too. Okay, so we're going to start off at a blank canvas. This is Cricut Design Space. Remember, this is the free software, and you can do it on your desktop or your laptop, or you can do it on your iPad or your phone. I'm choosing to do it on the laptop, but you can do it in all the different, you know, mobile devices there as well. And they're fairly similar. Both of those versions are fairly similar. There's some differences, but that's a topic for another day. Good morning, Cindy. I am. Okay, thank you, Charlene. I didn't use the word hoard, but okay, I'm going to say I'm not hoarding. I actually watched some of those hoarders programs over the weekend, and I'm just like, oh my God. Maybe that's me when I am gone. People will be like, how did she manage to collect all of these craft supplies? I don't know. I'm going to have to will them to somebody in my will. I'll have to find a few people to say, when I die, all these things are going to go to my friends that appreciates the craft supplies. So anyway, we are doing this. We're going in Cricut Design Space, and we're going to go over here to projects. This is something a lot of people don't even know about, and it's really fun. There's all these projects, and some of them they have that A on there, and so that means it's Cricut Access or free to you. And there are so many categories here. Look at all the categories. In addition to your own projects, if you chose my projects, there's all kinds of, there's the community area, there's free for Cricut Access, there's Anna Griffin, cards, coloring, free for each of the machines, there's graduation, Halloween, all, you know, holidays, things that use just the knife blade, or things that use very specific designers, Martha Stewart or whatever. And it is a searchable area, so you can go up here and type in a search. So I know this one is called Giant Rose, but I'm just going to put in the word rose and do a search and see what comes up. And I hope I'm going to find it. Did I find? It's not there. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. This always seems to happen to me. So let me just type in giant. No. Oh my gosh. All right. So I don't know where it went. So I'm going to, this is going to trip me up some. Oh well. Always keeping me on my toes, I guess. But this is where you would find it. You would find it under Rose. And again, I'm going to give you, don't even know why it's not coming up. you can favorite them and on everything. So I'm going to give you the file for it, but and I don't see it. So let's pretend we did find it, and we're going back to the canvas, and I'm going to open up. I'm wondering if, because I have this set to Joy, if it's decided that I can't look at that project. Let me set it to Maker and see if that is going to work. So we'll put Giant again. Yeah, there it is. Oh my. Oh, well, that's not a good thing. Okay, well, so here it is, the giant paper rose that it can be rescaled to be on the Joy. So I'm not sure why it decided not to show it. But if you are looking for projects, you're going to make sure that your machine is not set on Joy if you're looking for this one, because it's too big for it. And I can mention to the Cricut folks about that. But anyway, so we're going to customize this, and just so that you can see, this is how it comes in. It is huge. And yes, it cannot be, at this point, it cannot be cut on the Joy, but it can be modified to be cut on the Joy, and this is how we're going to do it. So I pulled it in, and what I'm going to do is, you notice it comes all grouped together. So what I'm going to do is ungroup it. That's right here, ungroup, okay? So I ungroup it. And then I'm going to put all of the there are these 5 of these, which is like the outside petals, excuse me. And there are, let's see, there are 4 of these, which is the next inside. So I'm just grouping them all together and making like a pile, a sandwich. And so I'm just moving them all together so that they're kind of piled up. You see what I'm doing? To make one giant rose, it took me 17 12 by 12 sheets of paper. And yes, could only be cut on the Maker or on the Explorer, could not be cut on the Joy. Then I made it smaller. I made it a medium size. I'm going to show you how to do that. So let me just move the rest of these pieces over. All right, now I can get up close because you can see the whole thing. So here it is. And for perspective, I mean, just if you could just kind of see, it runs from like 4 to 14 inches here. This is only on a 75% view, so it is huge, okay? So we're going to, now that we've stacked it all up here, and they're sort of all stacked up, we're going to group it again, all right? And that's what we do over here, we group it. So now we have, this is the super huge one. So if you were to go to cut this now, this would show up on 17 sheets, 17 mats, okay? And I don't know about you, but I think that that's a huge paper commitment. I don't know if I can spare that much paper for that. So if I wanted to see how it's going to look, and this is what I did. I wanted to see how it would look smaller. What I did was I grouped it like this, and then I duplicated it twice. Okay, so I've got one that is very large, and I'm gonna go, and that's my sort of my control group. That's the as originally set up. So I'm going to shade that out because I'm not gonna look at that. And then I've got 2 here, and I'm going to reduce the size of both of these. So right now, the width and the height is like 11, so the width is 10.61. So I wanna do about, maybe like 25% less or so, you know, like not as big, but maybe sort of medium size. So I can change it, and Here we go. This is sized like 7.5. So you can see that it's sort of medium size. And then I want to take this final one and I'm going to make it really small. And I'm going to do a width of, I think that I did it at like 4.5. I might have gone a little bit less than 4.5. I know it looks small. I mean, compared to the other sizes, it looks small, but it doesn't cut out small. And I want to just show you, so here it is. This is at 4.3. If I were going to make it, I hope it's going to show me. Yeah, it cuts on, now it cuts on, instead of 17 pieces, it cuts on 3 pieces, which is 1 piece of green and 2 pieces of pink, which to me is a little more workable, okay? There is some scoring with this. So if you do want to cut it with the Joy, you do need to take the scoring out. It's not a lot of scoring and it's pretty intuitive, but you'll notice that it's here and you won't be able to, if you have a Joy, you won't be able to cut it with the Joy because the Joy won't allow you to cut something with the scoring, okay? So, but I'm not going to talk about scoring because we've talked about scoring a whole lot. But so that's how you resize it. So, good morning, Cindy. So that's how you resize it, and I realize it looks very small. Let's look at all 3 of them together, but just to give you a perspective, go back to here. And again, I'll give you these files, but just so you know, so this is the extra giant one, this is the medium sized one, and this is the small one. And I'm going to put together 2. I have a small and a medium, but this is what the giant one looks like. 17 sheets of paper. That includes the green. It's really kind of big. I suppose, you know, for someone, for like a wall, that would be really, really good. But I don't really have intentions of doing a wall. So I wanted to do it smaller. And here it is. This is the small and this is the medium. Okay, so once you cut it all out, you're going to, you have to prepare the sheets or the paper of the cutout. So let me just show you what you end up with. We're going to work with the small version. Okay, so this is the middle piece. These 2 pieces are the middle, and you notice that this is where the scoring is done. Now, if you cut this on the Joy, you just have to go back and score at these lines here and here. I'm going to put aside the leaves for now. So this is the middle, and then we have this style that has like a stem or, you know, a base to it. And we have this one also has a base but smaller. And then this, which ends up being the outer petals, and they're cut in the middle. And there's 5 of those and 4 of each of these, okay? So let's start with the very, very middle first. And what we need to do, I've found, first of all, you need to prepare the leaves so that they kind of slightly are moving outward, because you know when you look at a rose, the leaves are like, they're compact but they're like sort of turned in, and so I wanted to make that look that way. So before you go ahead and glue this, you're going to use your scraper, or if you have a bone folder, whatever, you're going to do it just to give a little bit of, and you're not going to do it a whole lot, just a little tiny bit, just to give it some movement and some, you know, definition. Okay, so there is our most middle piece, and this is our next most piece. And again, we're going to do it just ever so slightly outward, kind of give it a little bit of movement. Okay, you do need a glue gun for this, although I suppose you could try the glue, but whenever I'm working with 3D flowers, I like the glue gun, even though I hate glue guns. So in the middle, the innermost piece, okay, yes. Oh, okay, here we go. How's that, Dawn? Dawn, is that good? So in the innermost piece, which is the one that has these 2 tabs, we're going to put some glue on the underside of this tab. You see? It's okay to work slowly, by the way. And we're going to put it this way so that it's on the inside. You could, I suppose you could put it on the underside. It's up to you what you want to do. You know, I can put this one on the underside if I wanted to. But there's where the glue is going to go on those 2 tabs. And that's going to create that middle circle. I'm trying not to get burned by my glue. All right. So that is my very most inner piece of the flower. And you see how I did this little tiny bit just to kind of give it, you know, you might end up having to, you know, do this a little bit. You just want to create that circle in the middle. That's where, you know, that's the innermost part of the flower. Now the second piece is going to come along and you're going to glue it at this square area. Okay? So notice that this created kind of a square on the bottom. That's what we want. And so we can put our glue here. All right. And then we're going to make it so that the petals are opposite. All right, so this is how it's starting to look. There's the bud. And you don't have to worry about putting glue here, but if you really feel uncomfortable, you can, you know, if you want to put these petals together, you could put a little, you know, just a dollop of glue there. That's up to you. Sort of, I might do that. Just to kind of hold it together. Again, it's sort of just a question of if you don't want to have to be fussing with the flower as you're making it. Okay? You could do it over here too if you want. It's up to you. I think I've done it both ways. So I don't necessarily have a favorite way of doing it. So make sure that your hot glue is catching and you're creating the inner bud of the flower. See that? That's what this looks like. That's the inner part of the flower here. Someone said yesterday, I think it might have been Emmy, who said it would be a perfect space for a tea light, and I suppose it would. It might be a really nice centerpiece object. For someone who really likes roses, a party for someone who really likes roses. Okay, so then next we have 3, like I said, we have these 3 different sized or cutouts, and this one is the biggest piece, and what we're going to do is we're going to shape the biggest piece and we're going to glue. Watch what I do. I'm going to fold over at this cut point. I'm going to fold over and make sure that right here it's like aligned, and that's going to give that petal a little bit of depth. So I'm going to do that with all of my 5 pieces. See, I'm folding it over, I'm holding it like this. Give it a second to catch. We do that with all 5 pieces. Right? So that's 2 down. is the third piece. Third, right, and fourth. Four. Five. And once I have those glued, let me move my glue gun away. I'm going to, since it's already sort of cupped, you see, I'm going to use my shaper and just, you have to be very careful here because you could definitely cut or rip the paper, but you do want to get some definition in those flowers, and usually starting from the middle here, you can use it to kind of give it a little bit of an edge. It's really pretty. It's starting to look a lot more like a natural rose, you know. So I'm going to do that with all 5 of those. This is the outermost piece. Once we get this done, we're going to put them aside and do the next size. Okay. This fourth one. All right, so I'm just making a little pile of them. That's going to be my outermost pieces. That's, let me just show you where that is on my completed one so you can kind of get perspective. That's these ones here, the ones on the outer side. They don't need to be turned all that much, but just enough to, you know, open up the flower. So the next size piece that I have are these ones that have both the cut here and it has like a base, okay? Oh, it's my pleasure, Susan. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with this. We're going to see where the cut is. We're going to just fold it over on itself, and it creates like a little, like a triangle point there. This is what it looks like in the back. Okay, so let's glue those. Make sure my glue gun's going to work for me. Got to put in some more glue. So this here, we're going to glue here and on those corners, fold it like this. Okay? Now there are only 4 of these ones. This is going to help having just 4 when we put it together. Okay, I'll show you how. Same thing with this one, number 2. Sure my glue is going in there. Okay, let's do the last of these. 3, and here's the 4th one. Whoop. Okay. Put that aside for a second. So then we have our 4 of these sort of cups. They're a little more cupped. These are the outside pieces. These are the inside interior ones. They're a little more cupped. And once the glue is held, go ahead and do the same thing, which is you're going to give it a little shape. If you don't do this part and you wait until afterwards, it's difficult. I mean, if you missed some and you want to go back, it's a lot easier than trying to do it the first time when it's all together. That's why I suggest doing it now. And again, very gentle. You don't want terrible amount of a curve there, just enough, a little curl. and the fourth one. Okay, so now we have, this is, again, these are the exterior, this is the interior, this is the next one, and then the closest to the middle of the bud are these ones here, and they're just simply scored here just so that they're easy to put on. They don't require any glue. We just need to go and give them a little bit of depth, a little bit of a curl to it. And there are 4 of these. So now that we have all of our pieces ready and sort of partially assembled, we can put together the rows. We can also do the leaf part if we wanted to ahead of time. Don't really need to do that, but I'll show you how that goes together. So this becomes the next step in the rows, the smaller piece. And then this piece, the one that has more of a square shape on the bottom, becomes the next piece, and this is the outer piece, okay? So here's our very middle, and this is so simple. You're just going to glue them. You see at the bottom, it's kind of a square shape. You're just gonna glue them each like this, 1 petal on each of those squares. So simple. And make sure you use enough glue because you don't want it to sort of start coming apart halfway through. That's where I run into problems because, you know, I'm pretty frugal with my glue normally, and so, but with hot glue it requires, see how that works? So, and then we're gonna keep going. Put the glue on the bottom here. Sure I have enough glue in there. It's a lot of glue, by the way. So, but what's great is that, you know, it's got this square bottom that really makes assembly so easy. So there's our 4 inner pieces. Let me show you how it's starting to look. Isn't that pretty? Now it will come up a little bit further. You don't have to put glue and risk getting a burn. You know, you don't have, it will come up a little further with the next piece. But you see how it's starting to create that flower, okay? So then, okay, stop. Okay, so the next piece is this one here, also with that base, okay? So we're gonna do the same thing. We're turning it over. Please, Benji, no. And we're gonna put the glue here, and we're going to put it a little kitty corner here because we want the leaves to sort of look like they're unfolding, okay? So let's try putting it on this part first. Okay. All right. So there is the first of the 4. Remember, there's 4 of these. See how that's starting to look? Let's do more. So even smaller, this gets to be a very thick, very sturdy project. This is not a wilting little flower. It will last for a long time. And again, it's at this size, it's the perfect size for on top of a box. If you didn't like the peonies that we did when we did the peony gift box, you could substitute it with this one. Okay, and then this is the last one. Uh-oh, I hear the garbage trucks coming. I need to... Hopefully they're just popping in and going to the next street in the neighborhood. Okay, so here, look. So we're starting to see a real flower form here. And again, you can, you know, move in here and move those petals however way you'd like. If you want to give it more definition, you certainly can. So the next set of petals is this exterior. Okay, and there are 5 of them. Not sure why there are 5 of them, but I think it makes the flower on the bottom look, you can't really see on this one, but it makes it look more natural, not so boxy. So here we go. We're going to do the same thing. A little bit of glue. And you see, I'm sort of trying to kind of make them slightly off, because when you look at a rose, all the petals don't just open up all the same size, you know. And I'm overlapping them here, holding them until they... I need more glue. Use a lot of glue. See how it's starting to look more on the underside like a rose? Let's put some more glue in there. Enough. Thank you. So the underside's starting to look like, you know, that where all the petals sort of come together. That's where our last one's gonna go. Oh, come on, glue. All right. So there's 5 of those. You see how I've overlapped them there. And now there's your rose. You have to clean it up a little bit if you're messy with the glue like me. And you can always come back and do different things. Like if you wanted to glue those inner pieces up a little bit more, or you wanted to sort of shape them a little bit more, and you'll do a better job than me because I'm just doing this for the camera. But just when you do that, just be careful that you're being careful, because it is still paper and it could still rip. And if it does rip, you can use glue. Like I ripped right here when I was putting this together. I was in a hurry, so I ripped right there, and I just put a little bit of glue in there. And you know, I'm not going to waste 17 pieces of paper because I ripped one petal. No way. So okay, so there is our flower. Let's do the petals, which are really kind of cute. It consists of this piece here, a hexagon, or maybe it's a pentagon. It's a pentagon. So this is sort of the base, and then you have 5 leaves that have a score in them. So you can just score them. Okay, so 5, and the super pointy part is the part that's going to go on the base, okay? So then what we're going to do is, even though we've folded them, we're going to lay each of these pieces in, so you can do them on the each of the points if you want to. I found that easy, like that. And then put a little bit of glue. You can be a lot neater than I am being, of course, of course. And see, I'm starting to rush, so I'm going to get burned. This is what happens to me when I start to rush. Excuse me. So there's our 5th leaf. Put that in there. And that way, when you turn it over, you just see this part. Isn't that cute? So this gets attached to the bottom, to the underside of your flower with glue, with your hot glue, of course. Make sure you use enough with the hot glue, because you want it to stick. So it gets attached to the bottom. Really starting to come together, isn't it? And then there's one more piece. That's this one. Also has a little bit of a score in each of the leaves, right? And we're gonna put some glue on the stem part of that leaf. And place it. You can just do it over there. I suppose you could do it, it doesn't matter, you know, but it's just sort of that peeking out a little bit. And that, friends, is this giant paper flower, but now it's smaller. So it comes in this very, very large size. If you want to commit to the large, I'm one of those, I have to stick my foot in the pool before I go ahead. Yep, you can make this on the Joy, Denise. You can make this size on the Joy, and I'm going to give you the file so that you can see the different sizes. There's a small, there's a medium, and the large. The original file, excuse me, comes comes this large. And what I've done is I've made it smaller so that it can be cut on the Joy, and also just to use less paper to see if I really like this original project. Okay, so that is how you make these really big. And let me just show you, this is that box we made with the peony on it. I wonder if I can take off my peony flower without ripping my flower. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but yeah, okay. Ripped it a little tiny bit. But if you decided you didn't like the peony, you could do the rose. Right? It's so pretty. And a lot of people are using these flowers like in their daughter's rooms, or for a background for like a wedding party. So where people can take pictures, and clearly you'd need a lot of paper to make these, but it's pretty satisfying once you get them done to see them. And they look really good grouped together, obviously, too. There you go. So there you go. Now, tomorrow on Cricut Chat, I'm going to put together my peony back there. Tomorrow on Cricut Chat, I wanted to kind of circle back because I was unable to do date night this Saturday, and yet I wanted to do some Lori Whitlock files. Well, I'm actually thinking that maybe that was kismet, because she just announced, Lori Whitlock just announced that she has her files on her monthly sale. I think they're 30 or possibly 40% off. If you go to shop.lori, Lori, whitlock.com, you can see, you do have to use a code. And so I thought I'd give you the opportunity so you guys can pick out some files. I thought that would be good. We're going to be doing some box cards and some different kinds of cards as well. So I'm going to list the individual ones that I'm going to be doing, and I thought you might want to take advantage of that. I haven't heard anything from Mary at SVG Cuts, but I'm assuming she's getting real close to her due date, because she said late May, middle to late May, so who knows. But I haven't seen anything new on her channel, so I'm assuming she's just getting busy with the baby and everything. So we might not see a lot of new things coming from her for a little while, which is fine, of course. But Lori Whitlock has so many files, and I just wanted to show you all the different kinds. Now, I can't even show you all of the different kinds, but I wanted to show you a few of the different kinds of cards that she does. Box cards being her specialty, but there are other kinds of cards. She does like pop-ups and fold-overs, Z-folds, and whatever. 30% off. Thank you. I could do that, Dawn. Excellent idea. If I wanted to switch out the flower, I could use a Velcro dot on there as well. Good idea. You guys are so clever. So that is Cricut Chat for today. I'm sorry to take up so much time, but I thought that you'd want to know how to put together. There are many other flowers that are like this, but I think this is probably one of the most challenging ones because it's hard. You have to make sure it looks like a rose when it's done, and some of the other ones are a little more like just big, you know, going to smaller in a concentric kind of a way. And so I like the fact that this is authentic looking. So I hope you will try it. And if you do, come back and tell me, or tell me on the community page. And I'm going to see you tomorrow. When I finish up this video, I will put these, what I did with changing the file. I'll put it, on the description of the video, so definitely go look there. And I'll also put the link to Lori's site so you can see what I'm talking about for going forward for the rest of the week. So thank you all for coming today. I hope you enjoy. Thank you. I'm happy to help, Emmy. I'm happy that I have the energy to help too. You know, you don't really appreciate how sick you can be until you start to feel better. And, you know, my brain wants to do things, but my body just would not let me do them. So I'm happy to help, and just have to anticipate that after every treatment, like usually 4 or 5 days, I'm just going to be sort of out of it. So thank you so much. Remember to wash my hand. Yeah, especially if you got glue on them like me. But yes, definitely keep your hands washed. Enjoy the wonderful day, everyone. Have a great day.